To assist with a basic understanding of energy systems, this tutorial will focus on some key concepts including intensity and rate, which are the key drivers for energy system and energy system contribution. As a very basis, the key ideas behind energy systems is that our body requires energy in order for our muscles to contract, and that energy is supplied via the energy systems. It's important to recognize that there's 3 energy systems that can contribute to energy production, and one of these energy systems will always be the main energy system used. The word we use to describe that is that it's the dominant energy system, but all energy systems will be contributing and have an active role in muscle contraction or energy for muscle contraction. Which energy system is in charge will depend on how fast the energy is needed, and that's determined by the intensity or how hard we're working. It also depends on how long we're working for and how much energy is needed. The 3 energy systems we use are the ATP-CP system, anaerobic glycolysis system, and the aerobic system. The ATP-CP system is the fastest energy system. It provides energy for maximal intensity activity, but it doesn't last very long. It runs out of fuel. And a good way to think about this is that it's like a Ferrari car with a really low fuel tank. It accelerates really fast, but it doesn't last long. Now, on the other side, the aerobic system provides energy slowly, but it can provide energy for a long period of time, so for longer duration events. A good way to think about that is just your trusty sedan car. It's got a full tank of petrol. It can't accelerate really fast, but it can go for a long period of time. The body grabs the appropriate energy system for the task. It would love to use the ATP-CP system because it provides energy so quickly, but it doesn't have much fuel. That's its limitation. It would love to use the aerobic system as well, but it can't produce energy that quickly, so it's got to grab the energy system that's going to work for the higher intensity. So our high intensity or our max intensity energy systems are going to be the ATP-CP system because it produces energy quickly, and the anaerobic glycolysis system. The anaerobic glycolysis system also produces energy quickly. It's not quite as fast as the ATP-CP system, but it's faster than the aerobic system. So it's going to provide the energy when the ATP-CP system is suffering from fuel depletion, or CP, and the aerobic system hasn't had enough time to take over as the dominant system. So the anaerobic glycolysis system is going to be important for repeated efforts when you sprint, stop, because CP will deplete and it won't have enough time to replenish before you go again with your high intensity work. If you're working at a low intensity, so walking or jogging, and you don't need energy that quickly, the energy system that's going to be able to service that form of intensity or that form of exercise is the aerobic system. It uses carbohydrate and fat as a food fuel to provide energy with the use of oxygen. So oxygen is used to break down that fuel. It sounds complex already, and that's because it is. And because it's complex, it provides energy slower. So it can't meet the demands of our task when we sprint, but it can meet the demands of our task when we walk or when we jog. And the driving idea behind the energy system use is that the one that dominates is the one that best meets the needs of the task or the needs of the intensity of the exercise. So if we have a look at this exercise here, what we're looking at is we're looking at a slow jog. So we'll go back again and have another look. Look at the acceleration. Is that a really fast acceleration or quite a slow acceleration? So we are not going to need an energy system that is going to provide energy really, really quickly. Our aerobic system is going to be able to meet the needs of that task. And if it needs a little bit of extra energy to help out, the anaerobic systems will help out, but the aerobic system will be the dominant system. If we look again at a graph for that, this graph here refers to 60 seconds during a submaximal effort. So similar to the video that you just watched, submaximal means a lower intensity, not a maximal intensity. And this is a 60 seconds worth. You can see the graph shows the aerobic contribution, the anaerobic contribution, and the y-axis refers to the amount of energy. You can see that between 0 and 15 seconds, the aerobic system increases its contribution in order to try and meet the needs of the task. And there's a little bit of extra anaerobic that tops up because the intensity has increased and the anaerobic systems will need to help out. But it's not the dominant system. And you can see as time progresses, as the duration progresses, the contribution from the anaerobic systems decrease as the aerobic system increases its contribution. It increases heart rate, respiratory rate, and all those acute responses that will deliver more oxygen to the muscle and help to provide aerobic energy. Now, if we contrast this with a sprint here, so we're looking at a sprint. When you think of a sprint, you should be thinking of that it's powerful and it's explosive.
Moment of truth has
when it's
finally
powerful and
arrived.
explosive, it's high intensity, so we need energy at a fast rate. Watch the difference in acceleration between the last event and this event.
Set.
Bolt not very quickly out of the blocks. Powell was the quickest, but Bolt just getting in.
Now, if we look at the nature of that acceleration, it's explosive and the energy at a fast rate. So the energy system that's going to service that particular exercise is going to be the ATP.
He's straight alongside Gatlin, and here comes Usain Bolt. He's pulling away.
Towards the end
He's
of
going to win the gold.
CP is going to start to be depleted. So if they continued on with that maximal intensity exercise, the anaerobic glycolysis system will become the dominant energy system, the energy system that's in charge of energy production. Now, if we look, this is 20 seconds, so it's a little bit longer than that effort, so maybe more like a 200 meter. You can see that at maximal effort or maximal intensity, there's an increase between 0 and 5 seconds of the aerobic system, yes, but look at all that energy that's provided by the anaerobic systems. Because it's such a high intensity, the amount of energy required is much higher than the previous jog. And so therefore you need more energy, and the aerobic system is unable to provide energy at that fast rate, so that anaerobic systems have a massive increase in their contribution and they become the dominant systems. Even after 20 seconds, the anaerobic system is still the dominant system, and it's not until you head up towards 60 seconds that the aerobic system starts taking over as the dominant system. That's how long it takes to increase its contribution. Now, if we're looking at the difference between a submax and a max effort, you can see that although the time is different, you can see that the aerobic system has a much larger contribution for a submax effort than during a max effort. Energy is required a lot faster during a maximal effort, therefore the energy system that is going to be used is going to be the one that meets that intensity because it produces energy at a fast rate. At a submaximal intensity, and if you look here, the amount of energy on the y-axis is quite different. So you might be saying, well, look how much the aerobic system provides, but that's only 70 and that's 140. I've just put them side by side to illustrate that point. But during a submax effort, the aerobic system will be the dominant system. So now if we're looking at a diving event here, we are looking at a powerful and explosive event. It is of short duration, maximal intensity. So what's the dominant energy system? It's the ATP-CP system. It provides energy at the fast rate in order to meet the needs of the task. We're looking at here the maximal intensity firefight. So you should be thinking it's explosive, it's high intensity. The ATP-CP system is providing energy at the fastest rate. So we'll go back to that one. You should be thinking that here, when the CP stores are starting to deplete, the anaerobic glycolysis system takes over as the dominant system. It's all about the energy system that best services the needs of the task and also the state of the body. If CP is depleted, you can't use that energy system. Now, it's important that you're able to fill out a table such as this, the characteristics for each of the energy systems. You need to be able to rank them in terms of their rate and the amount, the fuel that they use, what's it limited by. So the ATP-CP system is limited by fuel depletion, CP, the anaerobic glycolysis by accumulation of metabolic byproducts, and the aerobic system by the rate. It's too slow. You should be able to identify an exercise that activity is dominant for, that energy system is dominant for, as well as the duration of effort that energy system is dominant for when considering maximal intensity exercise. So the idea and the checkpoints that you should be able to, or you should know after this, is you should know the characteristics, you should know the conditions under which each energy system is the dominant energy system and why it's the dominant energy system.